Welcome back to the Community Review on Hot 92.3. I'm Josefa Salinas, your host. The 4 agreements, the 5 agreements, you've heard me talk about them before. We've talked a lot about it on the air when we're talking about how to create a better health, wealth, and self for ourselves. This book is often one that we refer to. On the phone with us, you will not believe it. It's Don Miguel and Don Jose Ruiz. Good morning. Buenos dias.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be in your show.
Oh, it's so, you just don't know how many of my listeners have read your book. They love your book. We talk about it all the time when we're talking about making a better life for ourselves and understanding ourselves better and, working through situations better. Your book is always at the top of the list as something that we refer to. So it is such a pleasure to have you here. Tell me a little bit about the journey that brought you to the 4 agreements and why you wanted to share all of that with all of us.
I feel very lucky to grow up in my family because they carry a very old tradition, the tradition of the artist, which means Toltec. Toltec means artist. And in that tradition, everything is about enjoy life. And since I was a child, I learned that everything is possible if we really wanted to. And this is how I grew up and seeing the world with that point of view. And many times I just didn't understand why not everybody accomplished what they wanted to. Because as soon as I want to do something, just like magic, it happened. But I think it was just how I learned from my parents and my grandfather. Anyway, in that follow this point of view, I became a medical doctor. I became a surgeon. In a certain point, because of an accident, I returned to accomplish my training with my mother, mainly. And I decided to change my point of view. Instead of being a surgeon, I decided to go deeper into the human mind and start having apprentices. I became what they call a shaman. That is just a word. It really doesn't mean, it's not a big meaning. But it helped me to go more into human mind and to understand every action and reaction, to find out that humans, really, we are very predictable because we follow action reactions. By the actions that we have, we see all the possible reactions. And it was so easy to see the simplicity of life. It just follow what I call common sense, what I learned from my family. Then I have a lot of apprentices, and I was practicing with all of them, teaching them. And I decided to create a book, like a kind of a manual, to show just pure common sense, something that everybody knew since they was born, but they forget because we accumulate so much knowledge, we hear so many opinions, and we stop practicing that common sense, and we complicate of life in a very strong way. We create our personal hell when obviously we was born to live in our own personal heaven, because heaven and hell only exist in the mind and is not really spiritual. But with the decisions that we made, we create an easy or a difficult life. Then with these 4 agreements, I introduce my apprentices as a life of the artist, which means the life of a Toltec, following 4 simple agreements that have the power to break all those agreements that are nothing but lies. And that's the ones who complicate everybody else's life. And it's very simple. The first one, as we know, is be impeccable with the word, because we use the word in order to create the story in the one we live.